Alright, welcome back to another episode of Analyzing Gameplay. Also being part of the Road to Vainglory series, we are doing a ranked match here as Weapon Power Saw, Push Saw. Hence, basically you are super aggressive, you go for objectives over anything else, and you try to win as fast as possible. Now, I'm not a Saw main, but I've been playing a lot of them, especially with the skin, so he's just something that's definitely stand out to me recently as far as a hero I would like to play. But generally I play CP. But we're doing weapon party today just because why not? So you can see here the damage potential on Saw in general is phenomenal. He has high damage output but at the risk of low mobility. So you do have to make sure you're watching areas at which you potentially could get ganked. So you can see here I'm sitting in their lane brush. At least I try to. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that they are in fact not going to be coming up and ganking me. I stepped out though because I did see on the minimap that they're no longer coming up. They're dealing with our junglers, so I can safely not just sit in their lane bush and not do what I need to do, which is be aggressive. But again, like I said, I'm keeping the Vox at bay. I want to get as much farm as I can while not letting the Vox get farm himself. And then I'm going to push as hard as I can so I can get damage on those turrets as early as I can. And as time goes on, I'm going to be building more and more items to really deal out a lot of damage to the turret. Because this is going to be pure weapon damage. I will get some defense, such as like a reflex block probably. Generally that's a pretty normal one for me to get as Saw, just because of the fact that I do get CC'd to hell if I don't have a reflex block. But yeah, so now we're going to do a bunch of damage to the turret here, or at least not a bunch, but just a few jabs here and there. Here's where I get caught out though. I didn't sit in the brush like I needed to, and I actually ended up dying right here. I don't know what I got stunned against there, to be honest. I was clearly near no objectives, and so I should have got pushed, but apparently I just got stunned right where I was, which was weird to me. But regardless, I probably would have died. But alright, so we got our heavy steel now. It's okay if you die in the beginning. I prefer not to, but primarily I'm just trying to get as much damage output as I can. So I go heavy steel into a Sorrow Blade, go from Sorrow Blade into a Tyrants potentially, into maybe even another Sorrow Blade, and just going for pure damage. One to get, potentially you could get the some attack speed, such as like a Breaking Point or even a Bone Saw I've seen. Would I recommend it for early game? I don't really think so, especially if you're going objective-based type of gameplay. You want just pure damage, because you want to just shred those turrets. So you can see here, we're going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Here we go, taking out the turrets. You can't even do much. Catherine's trying to get me, but I'm just going to keep taking out the turret. I don't care if it costs me or not, but now we're going to go ahead and take out the Catherine. I call that a good play. So we took out a turret, we took out a hero, leaving our allies to clean up the mess here. Looking pretty good. Again, the guys, sorry if I sound congested. I am a little bit congested. I am sick. I don't think I mentioned that in my previous video I posted, but I mentioned it in a different one, I think. But I am sick. I am recovering slowly, but hopefully I'll be fully recovered here in a bit. Alright, so now my allies are kind of already out there, so I'm going down and grabbing farm when I can. Some junglers don't like this. Generally, when I am a jungler, I will try to go for the enemy's jungle when they're down. And so I went to get the backs, hoping that they would get their enemy jungler's jungle. But I guess he didn't like it. But a lot of times that's what you do. You get your laner fed. You want your Saw to have as much farm as possible so he can push objectives as fast as possible. Alright, so now that I got a heavy steel and a 6th sense, farming is going to be really easy now. For the most part, I really shouldn't miss any farm unless I'm just not being smart about it. I'm trying to use boots to get there fast, but he does get away, so there's nothing I can do there. The resonance from Vox does hurt though, especially if you CP. Here's where the Glade made a mistake. God, just clean it up. The lance really helps with pinning down enemies and allowing us to really just destroy. There we go. Gonna get another turret here. Trying to stutter step as best as I can. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the best saw, but we do get it. And then another stun on the glaive, and he goes down once again. Now I gotta be careful. We have the second turret down at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It's not bad. Our objective-based gameplay is doing really well. At the cost of a few deaths here and there, but it's alright. Here we're gonna go ahead and get the minion mine. I want to make sure that we have the Catherine at bay, so I just suppressing fired her to make sure she knows I'm fully spun up. One thing to be cautious of, though, is Catherine is a great one to go against Saw because she has a stun, she has a silence, and if she does, in fact, bubble at the right time, a lot of that damage that you're doing with your basic attack and that attack speed passive can be reflected to you and your entire team, having you kill off yourself and your teammates if you're not careful. But that requires a Catherine to use her bubble at the appropriate time. Here's another one. Glaive goes in. We are just shredding now. They got the glaive. I didn't even have to assist there. Much, at least. We're not going to be able to pick up the Catherine, I don't think. We actually do get her. Wow. And now we're just going to push for another one here. I'm going to go in suppressing fire so the pedal can do a bunch of damage. And then I'm going to go ahead and catch up and take him out. A lot of it is all about just using your passive attack speed to just shred people, and then using your suppressing fire to slow or get your spun up. Slowing to help assist your teammates. There's a reflex block, so we're going to be able to take out the glaive now. He missed that stun, so that was very unfortunate for him. Now he's dead. Let's go ahead and focus the turret. Like I said, it's all about objectives. Kills are cool, and I love getting them, but it's all about getting those objectives so we can go ahead and push for win as fast as possible before they can get their Atlas Pauldrons. The counter. So I know a lot of people don't like it when I do these series where I'm showing a really strong composition for a certain type of draft or whatever it may be. And people don't like it because people start using it and they get annoyed. The counter to Saw. CC as in primarily stuns. So get a Catherine, get a Finn, get like a what else is there? I mean, if you're good Ardent, you can use his gauntlets and stun him with it too, and then separate him completely. But then primarily the hardest counter to Saw is the entire team getting Atlas, or at least those who are melee. What was Catherine doing? Now I'm gonna go ahead and take out the glaive here, using my reflex block as much as I can, but I didn't get him. I was trying to use my shank. You can see there it went on cooldown, but I didn't get it off in time. But my teammates are chasing. Hopefully Geo Penguin picks them up. Petal should be able to because she has the pretty good chase, especially now that she can use the jump in a direction that she wishes. Or he. It's a guy, but he's playing a female character. Again, like I said, using your mobility abilities is crucial to getting from point A to point B faster. You don't want to just sit there and not use them, guys. Really, use them. They're going to be off cooldown by the time you get to where you need to be. I see a lot of people not using their shank just to run from the base back to where they need to go. You just use default run speed, which could cost them a turret. They can cost them a bunch of farm. It can cost them, saving a teammate, that kind of stuff. I personally don't use the ult much with Weapon Power Saw. Some people argue that it's great to have. I personally don't use it. I prefer to just go basic attack and just stutter step the hell out of the enemies. I forgot if there's been a change to the damage type for the ultimate, but as far as I'm concerned, it does a good chunk of damage, but it's slower basic attack than your basic attack. Or it's a slower attack speed than your basic attack. And it does percent health damage as well. So the lower they are, the more damage it does. But you're better off just using your passive, I feel like. I did get isolated out there, though, which is not very good. I got CC knocked over and then just dead. So that was very unfortunate. I picked Geo Penguin because he used his ultimate way in advance before they were even going to explode on the enemies. So I was just like laughing at him, giving him a question mark. Looks like he even pinged himself. He knew what he did. He knew what he did. So we're at 10 minutes. Usually, we should be coming close to finishing. But they're actually doing pretty good at holding us off. I'm going to go to grab the farm. The pedal just came up, so, you know, I'm going to grab it just because I want to be fed. It's a little bit selfish, I know, but the whole point of this weapon power saw is to be strong enough to push faster. That's what it's all about. You want to feed the hell out of your saw. Well, not completely starving your jungler. I mean, you want to feed your saw, but you don't want to completely starve your jungler. There we are. I'm trying to use my boots to catch up because I want to maintain the suppressing fire, but I can't. Not the suppressing fire, but the passive attack speed. Now we're going to go and use our shank. Woo, bam. 523 damage for weapon power. Not too bad. Pedal's going to go ahead and get the minion mine. I'm just going to push. This should be close to a win here. I think we might throw again. Maybe not. Just take out the objectives. Don't ever worry about Catherine. You target the enemy, the turret targets you, and then you're dead. Go for the one that's not under a bubble. Now we go for the glaive. Good to go. Catherine no longer has a bubble. Now she does, so I'm going to back off, not do damage to her. Now she doesn't, but we're going to focus the turret instead. And that is game. Pretty much there's nothing else they can do. We're at 11 minutes and 36 seconds. That's a pretty fast match. Not the fastest, but it's pretty fast. So that's how push saw works. Like I said, you just go pure damage. I actually went Serpent Mask, I guess. Okay. So that's actually not bad either because you can have that sustain because you do have a lot of damage output. So Serpent Mask is not bad either. But you can go like double Sorrow. You can go Sorrow Serpent. You can go Sorrow Tyrant. All of it kind of works great. I actually think Sorrow Serpent is actually really good. You don't really have to worry about attack speed much with Saw because he already has it passively. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a ranked match. And I will see you guys next time. Later!